Consensus builder. You see that a lot in government. I know a lot of these people. So it's a kumbaya, everybody, right? Let's talk about it. It's a fairly touch thing. Let's talk about it. Doesn't matter. It takes 6 months to get something done. So be it. So government doesn't have a bottom line. We don't need to make a profit. So we do see a lot of these consensus builder. So so far I said all the bad things about these types, right? But they're not necessarily all bad. There are also good things in each and every one of the style. Point I'm trying to make is there are various types of leaders depending on which organization, which culture you are in. And we need to understand how these people operate in their own style. So in business world, manager has been getting a bad image. So you all know this Dilbert cartoon, right? The guy who made a big box drawing this kind of funky looking guy. But can you read all this? Why did it take 6 months to complete this simple task? This is a pointy hair manager, totally incompetent and useless manager here. Dilbert answer is because your continuous changes, your unclear communication, and your short work days. And this guy's response is, I'm looking for something more along the lines of you being lazy. So manager all of a sudden in the business world is an evil word. Manager is bad. Nobody wants to be called as manager. Manager simply means managing something, right? So it shouldn't have any bad connotation or bad image or anything. It's just a word. But for some reason, over the past probably certainly a decade or so, term manager became really bad. So even at NASA, we don't call people managers because they get offended. They all want to be called leaders, right? So let's think about the stereotyping of leader versus managers. Leaders, all these good words. Boy, who wouldn't want to be leader? Managers, oh man, it's boring, not very smart, like that pointy hair guy. Manipulative, oh wow, that's powerful. Tactical, they can only see their noses. They can't see anything far away. Deceiving, whew, those are pretty bad stuff. So that's why people don't want to be called manager. Because all of a sudden, we live in the society that manager is like this. People made up, as like many Christians make up God to what they like to worship, not God as He is, but we make up God from our intelligence and our emotion and whatever, and worship that God. Just like that, we form this manager in this image, and all of a sudden we all want to be here. But what is it? Why people think that way? So I think people are pursuing and seeking trust. They want trusting manager or leader. So high trust culture. Again, many good adjectives here. We all want to be working in this kind of environment, right? So now you got your PhD, so when you enter into workplace, I think you want to be in this kind of high trust culture. If you look at low trust culture, I think many of you have seen all of this playing out. Internal competition, certainly, cutthroating environment, cynicism, throw a stone at first, and then try to figure out how to damage other people's work. Political posturing, you protect your stuff. High control management, All these bad things are happening in low trust culture. So company like IBM, going back to IBM, and some of the successful companies, leaders figure this out, I believe. Leaders figure this out, that people want this high trust culture, and so that they are driven, people are driven by motivation inside them, something coming from inside them rather than pouring onto or coming down on them and say, you shall do this. Remember the Goldman Sachs example and IBM example. So some of the companies who figured this out from secular perspective even, and did this, tried to do this, motivate people from inside, those are the companies, in my view, have been successful and long-lasting. Here are a couple of examples. Look at this guy. He was one of them waiting in this long line to get probably one of the iPod or iPad or whatever, iPhone. And he's so happy that he got that. And look at this. He is like a rock star. People are cheering him, cheering on him. And Harley Davidson, you know this motorcycle company. I mean, why in the world would you tattoo company logo on your arm? What got into them? I mean, you like the product, but why would you tattoo that thing on your arm? And why are these people cheering on this guy who it's just a simple transaction, right? From business term, you paid and you got the product. And why are these people cheering on? And why is this guy so happy? Well, why do I use Mac? I've been using Mac since it came out almost, first time. And it was novel. It was a novelty. It was outrageously expensive. When I was in graduate school, it came out with Mac 2. And even with all the student discount, it costed me $5,000. This was 1986. 1986, $5,000. So my wife, I was married, very, very newly wedded back then. And he said, you must be crazy. There are all kinds of other computers that you can buy much cheaper, and why are you insisting to buy Apple? That was like 50, 60% deep discount as a student. Well, it was a novelty. It almost gave you this badge of honor that you understand technology. You are different. So even today, you walk in the airport, people flip this out, this silvery box, and you guys walk around and you wink, wink. You and I are the same kind. You know the technology, I do too, so we're good. That's what Apple was able to penetrate. So that's this. Why? Why? They think different. Their motto was, we want to shatter the status quo. Whatever they do, we want to do it differently. It doesn't matter whether it's a PC, whether it's an iPad, iPhone, sorry. Oh, here. This iPhone. Does anyone have a Samsung newest product? It's inferior. This is inferior than Samsung. Smaller screen. It is not a superior product. Even PC, this thing is not as good as some of the competitors, Dell's and whatever, HP. Really. It's not as fast as that. It doesn't have any applications to be used. It is an inferior product, but people still do this. I mean, this is just mind-boggling. Why would you do that? Overnight, they're waiting outside the store to open overnight. It's because this. And Apple said, whatever we do, we're going to change the way you think. We're going to change the world. And they've been doing that. They changed the music world, right? They changed how the music gets distributed. They changed how that you're using it, how you carry portable computing device or getting onto network. They, product after product, they changed the status quo. So that's why I'm winking with people that using Apple at the airport, because you are connected with me. And it's no wonder Apple put this thing, lid, right, on the cover of this. So when you flip up, everybody can see, I am different. So everybody can see from far distance, that guy doesn't conform to status quo. That's what they want. They don't need to talk about what. As soon as they penetrate why, they don't need to talk about what. What is this, right? What is the computer, iPad, iPhone? They don't need to talk about that. They don't need to talk about how. I have no idea how this thing works. They don't need to explain what gigabyte or what process they're using. As soon as they penetrate this, people just flock together to buy those. But think about Dell computer. They start from here. They start from how fast their microprocessor is, how huge their hard drive is, how large their screen is. They start from here. They get to a little bit of this. They never get to this. It's just one of the gazillion PCs out there, and we're one of them. So please buy ours. But we are so much alike as any other people's PCs. We're no different. See the difference? That's the difference. So that's why Apple has a loyal followers. No matter what happens, how inferior that thing is, they buy it. And this iPhone is ridiculously expensive, right? But that's what I'm using. So I'm a sucker to this myself. And Harley Davidson the same way. It's not a good motorcycle. And it's ugly. But people like that. So that's why people even put this thing on their forearm. They penetrated people's psyche as well. So again, in secular leadership, I think I made enough point here. Companies and leaders who figure this out have brought enormous success to their companies.